You know that sinking feeling when your schedule's packed through the next quarter, your crews are running 6 days a week, and Thursday morning you're staring at your bank account wondering if payroll's going to clear? Welcome to construction's cruelest joke. The busier you get, the broker you feel. I'm Wade Carpenter, and today we're tearing down the busy but broke paradox that's choking contractors across the country. Because here's what nobody tells you: fast growth doesn't fix your cash problem, it pours gasoline on it. Let's talk about what's really happening when you sign that next big contract. You feel like you're winning, right? More work, more revenue, bigger jobs. But here's the blueprint for what actually happens. You're writing checks for mobilization, material deposits, and subcontractor advances this week. You're making payroll every Thursday. Meanwhile, the owner pays you next month, maybe, if they don't hold back 10% retainage until the project wraps, which could be 6 months from now or a year.
Fast growth doesn't ease this timing squeeze. It amplifies cash starvation by multiplying the gap between what you spend today and what you collect tomorrow. Most contractors think this feeling means they need to hustle harder. That's like pouring more concrete into a foundation with no footers. You're just creating a bigger problem.
Let me paint you a picture. You're running 3 crews, your superintendent's good, your foreman's solid, your subs show up when they're supposed to. The work's getting done. Quality's there. Customers are happy. But every single Thursday feels like you're playing Russian roulette with payroll. Every time a pay app sits on some project manager's desk for an entire week, you're scrambling. Every time retainage stacks up, you feel it in your chest.
You look at your P&L and it says you made money. You look at your WIP report and the margins look fine. Then you look at your bank account and it's got about as much cash as a broke college kid on Saturday night. That's not bad luck, friend. That's construction's structural timing trap, and it's rigged against you from the jump.
Here's the math that makes this inevitable, and I want you to really hear this.
Every new signed job creates more immediate cash outflows before you see $1 coming back. Mobilization costs hit week 1. Material deposits drain your checking account. Your weekly payroll might be $50, $75, $100,000 or more, gone every Thursday like clockwork. Meanwhile, accounts receivable pile up like materials in a staging yard. Pay apps stack up waiting for approval. One rejected line item can stall $200,000 for weeks. And retainage? That's locked up until final completion, which in construction time means who knows when. Now add overhead creep to the equation. Success demands more trucks, another project manager, more software licenses, higher insurance premiums. These fixed costs climb steadily while your cash flow bounces around like a loose scaffold plank. The result? Rising revenue paired with evaporating liquidity. You're working harder, booking bigger numbers, and feeling broker by the month. That's the construction growth profit paradox.
Now, let me show you the numbers that expose the illusion. Grab a napkin because this is where most contractors fool themselves.
You booked $10 million in revenue. Feels big, right? You're running a $10 million company. But here's the truth most contractors miss. Total revenue, $10 million. JobEx, materials, subs, bonds, permits, rentals, direct field labor, $7,500,000. Real revenue, what's actually left, $2,500,000. That $10 million just shrunk to $2.5 million faster than a rookie's first estimate. That's your gross cash margin, 25%. Now comes the punchline. OpEx, office, indirect labor, overhead, $2,700,000. Residual revenue, $2,500,000 minus $2,700,000 equals negative $200,000. You just worked a big year and lost $200,000. Your WEP report might look pretty, your accountant might say you're profitable, but your bank account knows the truth. You're funding the business from borrowed cash, not earnings.
Now, let's talk about the hidden leaks that make you feel broke even when you should be fine.
Payroll rhythm mismatch. You're doing monthly allocations, but burning payroll weekly. It's like trying to water your garden once a month and wondering why everything's dying. Thursday becomes panic day because there's no rhythm protecting your biggest expense, customer deposit diversion. That $50,000 project deposit goes straight into general operating expenses instead of staying locked for the long lead materials it's supposed to buy. Then when your electrical panels get backordered, you're stuck. No cash to pre-buy, no panels to install, no draw to submit. The whole thing collapses. I've seen a $680 backordered part hold up a $1.2 million draw. $680. That's the cost of a decent set of work boots. And it paralyzed a 7-figure project because there was no materials pre-buy account protecting the purchase. tax account raids. Come Thursday payroll crunch, you borrow from the tax account sitting in the same bank. You tell yourself it's temporary. It never is. April becomes a nightmare of scrambling to replace what you spent in December. Cross-job contamination. Project A needs cash for materials. Project B just got paid, so you move money between jobs. Now both projects feel broke because neither has the cash it actually earned. These aren't character flaws. They're predictable system failures that happen when your bank setup doesn't match construction's cash reality.
Here's where Profit First for Construction rewrites the rules. We don't mess around with wishful thinking or better budgeting. We change the rules at the bank level before you touch another bid.
The PFCC account structure creates dedicated accounts that match construction's real rhythm: profit, owner's pay, and tax accounts, funded from residual only. No residual, no POT, non-negotiable. Dedicated payroll account, insulated and rhythm funded weekly or bi-weekly, not monthly. Payroll stops being a prayer request and becomes automatic. Job deposits, liability account, holds prepayments in escrow, completely untouchable for operating expenses. Customer money stays customer money until it's earned. Materials pre-buy sub-account, locks funds for long lead and price volatile items. That $680 part gets ordered when the contract gets signed, not when it's needed on site. Tax account at a separate bank. Out of sight, out of reach during Thursday panic. You can't raid what you can't easily access. Seasonality buffer account. We call it the drip account. It pre-funds predictable winter slowdowns and meters cash into OpEx during lean periods. Weather and holidays don't require borrowing anymore. These aren't suggestions. They're behavioral guardrails that make cash mismanagement physically difficult. When your tax money sits at a different bank, you can't raid it Thursday morning. When job deposits live in a liability account, you can't spend them on rent.
Now, here's the mindset shift that separates profitable contractors from perpetually busy ones. Stop bidding to win work and start bidding to fund profit, owner's pay, and tax.
Residual revenue equals revenue minus JobEx minus OpEx. That's the only cash available to fund POT. If your bid can't reliably yield the residual needed to support those accounts, you've got three choices: raise your price, rescope the work, or pass on the job. Let me walk you through a quick example. Proposed contract, $500,000. Estimated JobEx, $375,000, 75%. Gross cash margin, 25%, which is $125,000. Your OpEx burn for this job's duration, about $140,000. Residual, negative $15,000. That's a hard pass, no matter how much you need the work, because busy without residual is just cash bleeding in slow motion. Your business exists to produce spendable profit for you, the owner, after funding all obligations, not to perpetuate endless throughput that leaves you broke despite being busy.
Here's your roadmap out of this mess.
1. Change cash behavior at the bank first. Set up those account separations before you chase one more dollar of revenue. Bank rules beat good intentions every single time. 2. Price and bid to residual targets. Calculate the minimum gross cash margin you need to cover OpEx and generate residual. If your bids don't hit that target, raise your price or walk away. 3. Build reserve floors before adding overhead. PFCC's debt to backlog guardrail says your total interest-bearing debt should never exceed a certain number of months of gross margin from your signed backlog. Work you can actually execute and convert to cash, not hope. 4. Pay yourself first. Owner's pay and tax aren't optional. They're the oxygen mask that keeps you conscious. This forces pricing discipline because the business must fund the owner, not just keep the crews moving. 5. Align your allocations to construction's reality. Match your allocation rhythm to your payroll cadence, weekly or bi-weekly, and your pay app calendar, not arbitrary month-end dates that have nothing to do with when cash actually moves. The solution isn't working harder. It's changing the system so hard work actually pays off.
Listen, if you're tired of feeling broke while being busy, this isn't going to fix itself. The structure of your cash system is either working for you or against you, and for most contractors, it's been working against them since day one. Here's what I want you to do. First, go grab the book Profit First for Commercial Construction on Amazon. It walks you through the entire account system, the allocation rhythm, the bidding discipline, all of it, step by step, built specifically for contractors who are tired of the busy but broke trap. Second, if you want hands-on help implementing this in your business, head over to profitfirstconstruction.com and book a consultation with our team. We specialize in helping contractors set up these systems and stop the cash bleeding. And third, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because we're putting out practical, no BS construction cash flow content every single week. You didn't build a job, you built a business, and businesses exist to produce spendable profit for the owner, not perpetual motion for the crews. It's time to end the paradox. Let's get to work.